General. Anybody would like to share, please? Joe Baker. Oh, let me.
To all the Burlington Market Center representing in bold, that is just amazing. We are just having an amazing time and look for great results.
Awesome. Anybody else got gratefulness they'd like to share today? Grateful? Yes. Lauren?
So I'm very thankful for my mentor, Ethiel. We had a wonderful breakfast and business planning this morning prior to coming here today. So, and I'm thankful that she can drink a whole pot of coffee and woo, that's her superpower.
Awesome. Okay. Anybody on Zoom? All right. You're grateful for lunch, and that's where I was going. I am too. We would like to bring up Mr. Horace Howard from GH Home Inspections. He's the one that provided us with this great lunch today. Yeah, you have to talk. I'm sorry, you have to talk to us.
I swear I don't.
You have to for Zoom. They have to hear in order to hear you.
Okay.
They can't hear you.
Half your client base won't be able to hear you.
You got to get that message out there. Well, direct to you, live and in person from the nearest crawl space, Horace Ward, GH Home Inspections. Where's the Zoom people? Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
You
we
guys
can.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. All right, it's been a long time with the COVID thing going on. I've only did one other marketing event since I guess February of 2020. So it's good to get back out. It's good to see a good group of people and be able to talk a little bit about the thing that I love, and that's home inspections. I know that sounds corny, but it's the truth. I've worn a lot of hats in my time. I've been a Marine. I've been a correctional officer in a state prison. Been a career telephone man. If you want to talk about high opens and shorts and grounds and that kind of stuff, we can talk that almost as long as we can talk home inspections. I'm kind of like I've got a good friend who's a preacher, and when he comes up, he fidgets for a minute and he rummages through the pages of the Bible until he finds something that he sees that gets his attention, and then he talks and you cannot shut him up. So that's probably what you're going to find here. Somebody's going to have to say, all right, ding, ding, time to go. Just a little background. I'm gonna brag on myself a little bit, or the company. It's more than just me, but we just last week, we won the best of the best again in the Times News. And it's pretty cool for us because that means that we've earned some people's trust. I've got a great group of realtors that are basically my base. And obviously I'm here because I want to grow that base. We get a lot of referral business. I did a home inspection, I guess it was the first of this year, for a lady. She found us on the internet, wanted us to come do a pre-drywall and final inspection on her home. She was so impressed, she had a contact. I got to drop his name. He's nobody famous, but the story the man has is incredible. He was laying at home in his bed at the age of 14 in New York, in Brooklyn, and his mother heard some gunshots. Those gunshots turned out to be an ambush on 2 correctional officers. One of them died. The other one, picked this young kid out of a lineup who was in just kind of a guilt by association thing, but he was home in bed. I know you go, sure, he was home in bed. Yeah, right. Well, he served 16 years in prison, starting at 14. It messed his mind up so bad. I told you I ramble. I've gone from home inspections to this. This kind of relates to it. It shows how referrals work for us and for you. Anyhow, 16 years in prison, he got paroled. 16 years in prison, I promise you will mess with your head. So he missed a parole date. So rather than slap him on the hand, they chuck him back in prison. I don't know, I don't remember the exact name of it, but a legal team actually found out about his case, and he got exonerated. He got fully exonerated, and he has sued the city of New York for a vast amount of money. And the reason that ties to me is because of the final inspection I did in Gibsonville. She referred me to this guy, and his name is John Bunn. He's all over the internet. If you'll just look up John Bunn, I Googled him, John Bunn exonerated, and it'll tell the whole story. But he's left, obviously he left there. He's buying a home for his mother in Salisbury. And I did the home inspection for him, met a great realtor, and now we're going to move forward in Salisbury. And I know that the referrals is what keeps you guys going also. I mean, it's one thing to sell a home to your brother or your sister, but sooner or later, the word will eventually spread even from them. And I know the goal is ultimately list your homes and just live on referrals. And it can be done. I know a lot of people who do it. So the referrals is a good thing, and it reflects well on you. It reflects well on us. Now to get back to the home inspections, we're GH Home Inspections. We're pretty good. We're thorough. We do all that. And I get it. Yeah. Okay, you're thorough. You're going to find a leak. You're going to find this. Okay, what can you do for me? I can make you look good. All right, smarty, how do you do that? Well, first of all, your customer's my customer. I treat them right. I give them something very rare this day. We give them service. We give you service. If some of you don't have transaction coordinators, we don't do the legal part of it, but as far as coordinating all the inspections, we can do that. We do it every day. We do give the customer a good thorough inspection, but we don't beat the house to death. The home tells the story. The home writes the report. We just kind of report it, but there's a difference in reporting a deck that's got a couple of issues and making it sound like it's going to fall apart the next time you step on it. And we are very careful about that. There's a difference in the word rot and decay. There is. It's not so bad to have a home with a little, let's say a water heater. It's not so bad to have a water heater maybe with a little corrosion on the bottom, but if the thing is rusted and all, I mean, the way you word things is important. But at the same time, we've got to tell the truth. But again, you don't have to beat it to death. And that's one thing that if you go through and read our reports, a lot of realtors tell us it's just like they're standing there in the house. They're very easy to read. We label stuff so that you can actually tell what you're looking at. Some report software I've seen before. I'll never put down a home inspector, but I will put down Home Gauge report software. It's confusing. You can look at it. How many air conditioners do they have? What does this one control? Is that the upstairs air conditioner? Is that the downstairs air conditioner? It's confusing. And they don't have a very good way to put in to differentiate. We use RB Pro inspector software. And we can basically do with it what we choose. We can label things like we want. We can identify things. We can elaborate on things. And we utilize it. I know it's a challenging market for you guys out there. It's bad enough you write 6, 7 offers, you may get one. I know there's a shortage of homes, and the last thing you need is someone killing the deal. We're not going to kill the deal. If the house has issues, we'll report them. We got to. It protects us. It protects you. But we're not going to abuse the home. And we will talk to the customer afterwards. I've talked many customers down before who really just didn't understand the nature of a home inspection and realized even a good house can sound like it's got problems. So we'll talk to any customer anytime. We're not afraid to talk to them and, settle them down. In fact, if I have my phone with me, I could show you John Bunn the other week. He texted me after we were talking about it. He said, "Is this a good house for my mother?" And I told him, I said, "Yes, sir," along with the report, but if you do the things that it needs, it was basically a 15-year-old house that some of the systems were coming to the end of its life. It's just you put a new roof on a house, you're gonna get another 25 years. If it needs a roof, you got to put a roof on it. If you've got 20-year-old furnace, have it checked. Try to get as much mileage out of it as you can, but eventually it's going to have to be replaced. And I told him, I said, if you do the upkeep type things, this house, there's no reason it shouldn't last forever. It was up off the ground, moisture levels were good, and the age of the home, if it was going to start decaying and showing fungal growth and stuff, it would do it by now. So he's got the good bones of a home, but I made him understand that it's going to have a little bit of money spent on it to keep it at the level it is and for the longevity of the home, that kind of stuff.
2 questions. Where are your service areas? What
The
area?
state of North Carolina.
That's awesome. All right, and
I've got realtors in Fair Bluff, North Carolina. I've got some in Ocean Isle. Fair Bluff. You know Fair Bluff? Yeah.
I work there.
I did a home inspection in Fairmont, the guy, Lord have mercy. And anyhow, the home was kind of rotten and he wants me to go back and oversee his carpenters and make sure that they're not hoodooing him. Fair Bluff, I don't like going to Fair Bluff no more because it's been flooded so much and I do not do flood houses. They will kill you is what they'll do. I don't do flood houses.
I think Jen had one more question for you. I did. Also, I wanted to know if you were okay with clients attending inspections.
Of course. Of course. If I have my preference, I like for them to come at the end so that I don't want them to feel like I'm ignoring them, but you got to focus on the home and all, but definitely by all means every time. Any more questions? How are we doing on time? Oh, go ahead.
What's your turnaround time to get the report back?
It is funny you should ask. I'm ashamed today because today is the first time that I can remember off the top of my head that I didn't turn a home inspection around on the same day. Last night, I realized we weren't going to be able to get a report out because some of the pictures didn't take. And my guy, when he finishes his home inspection today, he's going to go back, take pictures and make it right. But next day is the absolute, oh, that kills me to be next day. But it's virtually every time, always same day turnaround. Give me a chance. Let's work together. I think you'll like it.
Thank you so much. So I do want to offer an apology that we had Horace Howard typo and it's Horace Ward. And I wanted to point out a couple of other things. His material is here on the tables. If anybody on Zoom would like material, just let us know and we'll have that out as well. You're a Marine Corps veteran and give a veteran discount. Thank you for your service.
Veterans and Social Security, if you're on disability, I give you a 10% discount.
Veterans
My mom and dad
disability.
was on Social Security when they raised me. I'm a Social Security kid, so I know what money. When it's tight.
And agents are all about the easy button. So I noticed in your flyer that you will coordinate professionals for several other types of inspections, pest inspections, well inspections, as well as you've got a referral network of professionals that you deal with for repairs and stuff like that. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today.
And I don't mind the Horace Howard thing. You can call me anything as long as you don't call me late for it.
That's right. I had a client that called me Angela the entire time through the entire process. And I was like, hey, if I got to be Angela, I'll be Angela for this transaction, whatever it takes. Right. Yeah. Joe got called Angela. You got called Angela, Joe. Yeah. Funny how that works sometimes. All right. We have got another awesome resource and helpful speaker here today, Miss Carla Campbell from Heritage Title Services. I just want to give you an idea. We're all about the easy button, right? So Carla is going to tell us how we can hit the easy button on requesting title services. And just to give you an idea, to date, we've taken in about $11,000 in profit. $1,000 of that has gone to the Sunshine Fund. I'm sure that several of you have heard about the little doses of sunshine they've been dropping around the market center and to our agents. And then the other funds are going to go towards things like covering the overage in E&O insurance that we've had. How many people know that we had a massive increase in E&O insurance last year? Does anybody know what that amount looked like? Anybody? Ethiel, maybe around about? Okay, so our significant increase in E&O insurance came to the tune of $60,000 last year. To give you an idea, on your agent bill each month, you pay $10 to cover the E&O portion, right? Keller Williams is a pass-through company. We don't upcharge you. We just simply pass through the cost to our agents that they incur as a part of their business. Last year was a COVID year. It was insane. We've been told that hopefully that amount's going to go down. The $10 is nowhere near covering that increase of $60,000. The investors, the market center investors covered that cost for the agents so that you didn't incur an additional fee, because we changed some fees last year. Remember everybody that was here last year, we changed some fees. We didn't want to hit you with another fee. Yeah, so far it has gone down. We're looking at getting a quote for what is expected for the coming year. That being said, though, things like Heritage Title and the funds that we're recouping on account of your use of Heritage Title are going to things like that. And our black and white ball in January, keep watch out, January 21st, 2nd? First, second, it's a Friday. We'll have information coming up. So Carla, take it over. Tell us how they can hit the easy button on Heritage Title Services.
There we go.
Here, I'll
Got it.
move my computer too.
It's hard to multitask with this. But now I got it. Good morning or good afternoon, I should say. It's 12:21. There is a clock that's right behind you. Don't look at the other ones because they're not quite right. That one says 2:30 over there. It's great to see you guys. I just saw some of you a few weeks ago at the Top Producers Lunch, which is another thing I think you guys are using the money from Heritage for. So it's great to be here again in person. I can't think this is only the second time I've been to your team meeting in person. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I tried to pass out and I don't think I had quite enough today. The folders that are in front of you guys, and I have one here. So if anybody's missing one, there's a couple sitting around. So please help yourself to those. If you guys haven't seen these before, there's a wealth of material in here about who we are and how to refer to us. And I recently spoke to you guys about this is the easy button right here for you guys to refer to Heritage Title. It's basically 3 simple steps. There's some information just up here about who I am in case you guys haven't met me before. I'm the agency marketing officer for Heritage Title. If you want to go to the next slide. Today, I was just going to talk a little bit about why you guys should use Heritage Title. This is easy. It's 3 steps. You guys can read. I'm not going to read it to you, but basically at the end of the day, we just want you guys CCing us on your email when you send the ratified contract to your attorneys at info@heritagetitleLLC.com. And if you do that, we'll turn around the prior policy if we have it and make sure your customer gets that discount. So that's really, if you're getting your disclosure signed and all that, that's all that's covered on there. So make sure if you're doing your own transaction coordinating that you're keeping this on your bulletin board. And if you have somebody doing it for you, make sure you're sharing this with them so they can keep it and know the process. Just a couple of really important things. And I've mentioned these things before. We are so happy to have you guys and partner because we also have another great partner, our underwriter, which is Investors Title based in Chapel Hill. They've got a huge 5-decade track record in North Carolina, and they're the largest underwriter here in the state. They have the largest reserve of prior policies, which means we have a very high likelihood of getting that reissue discount for your customers, which is super, super important. And then we have a great staff. We've grown so much. We now have 9 Keller Williams across the state. You guys joined last year. We have just had to add 2 people in the last year. In fact, a person just started 2 weeks ago. We have 3 underwriters on staff and an admin person as well as myself. So you guys are keeping us super busy. If you want to go to the next slide. Basically just super important. Hopefully you guys know what title insurance is. It basically protects the buyer when they're buying the home against any defects in the title. And there's an owner's policy and a lender's policy, which a couple of you guys mentioned to me the other day that you didn't really realize that there were 2 separate policies. Super important. If your buyer's getting a loan policy, that they also get coverage for themselves with the owner's policy. Everybody's like, why do we need title insurance? You know, there's never a claim. Well, yeah, there are. There are billions of dollars worth of claims every year, and yours might be small. It might be really small, but it might be a home equity line of credit that didn't get closed out. That's $50,000 that your seller ran up and then it didn't get caught and didn't get paid off. And now all of a sudden it's a lien on the property. And if your customer doesn't have title insurance, guess who's paying for that? Not the seller, the buyer. So you don't want that phone call. I don't want that phone call for you. So make sure your customers are getting it. All sorts of things, judgments. People don't pay their child support. They don't pay their bills. They have judgments against them. If they have common names, sometimes they can get missed. So we want to make sure that your customers are covered for any of those issues that come up. All of this, most of this information is in here. We have why you should buy title insurance, why you should get a survey. Make sure you're taking a look at all of that. And I sent it over via email so that you guys have PDFs of all of that. If you didn't get it and you're interested, let one of us know, and I'll make sure that I'll get your card and I'll send it to you directly, but the office has it and we'd be happy to get that to you guys so you can share it with your customers. Any quick questions? Because I know it took a lot of time. Anybody? All right. Thanks so much for your time. Oh, wait. Yes. Yeah.
You said something about if like a home equity loan didn't get closed out, wouldn't the closing attorney be held to some account of liability?
Yes. And talking about E&O insurance, that would be one of the things but here's the thing. There are things that can be missed because they're recorded in the wrong place. And in that case, it's not the attorney's fault. If the search examiner person who works for the attorney missed it and it was recorded in the correct place, then yes. But, you know, lots of times there's typos in last names, there's typos in addresses. I've seen things get missed. And I mean, everyone's human, and these, you know, humans are doing these searches and humans are doing these documents. So things can get missed. And they're not credit cards. They are liens. They are mortgages on the property. People don't realize that. They don't get to stay open when you sell the property. Yes. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, the question on that one was, would the attorney be liable if there was a missed home equity line of credit that didn't get paid off? So what's the next question?
2080 rule.
of the attorneys that do business with us do 80% of the loan.
Correct.
Do you talk to them?
Yes. In fact, I've already been to 3 of them this morning. So I'm here, every time I come here, I also visit the attorneys that you guys use. I get a vendor activity report that shows which attorneys you guys are using the most often. Is there a specific question that you have about which attorneys and whether I'm talking to them? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They didn't know who we were because we didn't have a marketing person until I just started in January of this year. We've been around for 3 years. You guys have been in for a year. And so I didn't really get on the road until spring because of COVID and training and everything like that. But I'm here, I'm trying to be here once a quarter and I try to visit your attorneys. The problem is with COVID, you can't really get much past the front door. So I'm not actually seeing a lot of attorneys right now. So that's where you guys come in as my partner. And if you guys are telling our story to them and how we're partnered together, it's super helpful because I have 9 cities to cover and it's really more than that because like I also go to Hillsborough for you guys and I'm everywhere between, Wilmington to Asheville and Charlotte and everywhere in between. So if you guys are talking to your attorneys, you guys are my best resource out there for selling heritage title because the money does come back to the marketplace. So I hope you guys are talking to them about that because we want to bring more and more money. And I think the dollar amounts are you guys are going to see significant amounts of money coming into the market center for using heritage title. We've had an incredible year. So it's going to really make a difference for you guys. So any other questions?
I know we've got one more comment back here, but I wanted to add on that. Most of the attorneys use heritage anyways. And so the key. Yeah.
Okay. Taylor Law, we have never have a problem with. Ashley Carter, never have a problem with. She's sending, if we have the prior policy, she's absolutely sending it to us. There are some other attorneys who are not approved that I just wanted to give a shout out that you guys might want to know this, that are not approved with investors, which is Washburn Law, South Mountain Law Group, a couple other things like that. If you have any question about that, I'd be happy to talk to you. And if there's anybody that you're using that might be a little bit off the beaten path, let me know and I'll go see them. So, okay.
Yeah. So usually this is being chosen by default or around whoever the attorney has the relationship with. And are we serving our clients to the highest level if we're allowing it to happen by default? Because they're trusting us to be their advisor. Cindy, did you have a comment, question? Yeah. Hey, hold. Sorry, Beth. Oh, sorry.
Just real quick, I had a closing and thank God for title insurance. We had, when you have estates, they actually have to run title on all of the people. It's not about the property, it's the people when you have estates and heirs. So when heirs have liens against them and they don't remember, it can, yeah. So when I get an estate sale now, I make them do title search first before we list, because if there's something that's found that someone didn't tell somebody, like a $75,000 credit card or something crazy, which didn't close, and of course they had to give money back. What I'm saying is it's really important to have this. So that's just, sorry.
Yes. And tax liens, yes. Yeah, thank you so much for that. And the real key there is that just add heritage title. You're doing the paperwork anyways as a part of your compliance. So if you'll just add heritage title when you're sending out the contract package, that will be extremely helpful. There's more information in the packets here. If there's also information in the kitchen, in the BMC kitchen, if you need flyers, handouts, and then Carla's extremely responsive. So if you reach out to her at any time, I'm sure she will help as well. All right, we've got some departmental updates. Just kicking me off.
I'll go first. Me.
All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about the productivity coaching program and some of the things that we've got going on. October was a fantastic month. I'm sure most of you know that we have two different programs in the productivity coaching program. So there's the elite team. That is our agents who are coming into the market center for their first 6 transactions. They get assigned a coach right away from day one. They get assigned a mentor who is also helping them with things like showings and open houses. Very highly level trained. And so if you are out there and you have opportunities like open houses that you don't have time to host, or if you have buyers that you're not working with right now that are falling to the wayside, or if you have showings that you need done, come to me. We have great trained agents who really want the opportunity to get out there and get the experience. Absolutely. One of my elite members. So, really great things going on there. Also, if you are considering bringing on new agents onto your team and you don't want to have to train them or you don't have time to train them, let us train them. Let us have them for their first 6 transactions, get them up to speed, and then give them back to you ready to go. So for our new agents, we have 5 contracts pending coming into this month and 3 listings. So congratulations, elite members. And our traditional coaching, which is our more seasoned agents, just last month alone, we brought in $52,653 in GCI, which is gross commission income. So yeah, absolutely. Just with that to say, if you would like to have a conversation about your business, if you haven't looked at your numbers, if you don't know what a multi-trend report is, please come see us. Let us talk to you and help you, guide you. If nothing else, just give you some free advice, right? All right. Thank you so much, guys. Oh, who is next on the departmental? My friend Emily. Oops, sorry.
Hello again. Okay, so January 1st, the month of January, we're going to start with your office bills being due on the 15th of each month instead of the 20th. Doesn't change anything if it's on our books that we're automatically withdrawing it. I just want you to know it's going to be the 15th instead of the 20th. I'll continue to remind you. It will not start until January. So don't everybody freak out that it's going to be next month. It's not, it starts in January. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. Best Choice Leverage is what used to be professional services. It is still, I want to squash the rumors that it is still a Keller Williams organization. We just renamed the team because we are doing a lot of new things and wanted a fresh start. And so their name is Best Choice Leverage, and we are offering a whole lot of new services, starting with listing coordination, which I know a lot of people were waiting on. We are now offering that. We have a la carte choices and a lot of other things. So if you have any needs or just have questions, please reach out to Trudy. Her information is on the bottom of the page on your desk. That's all I got. Next, we're gonna let you speak to Miss Tiffany Ross, or let you hear from her. Oh.
Share about your Best Choice team in the states that they're serving.
Our Best Choice team, we have 2 wonderful ladies who are doing transaction coordinating. Both are real estate agents. One has a degree or has her paralegal license. We are also servicing New York, Tennessee, Louisiana, and Virginia at this time. So we are open to any Keller Williams outside of our market center. But of course, you guys are our people and our family, and you come first. So we are here for you at any time. But we're also expanding, which is really exciting because that just brings in money to Keller Williams, because the money that Best Choice Leverage makes goes into your profit share. So if you're in profit share and you're using Best Choice Leverage, you are helping your profit share increase. So that's another little piece of tidbit to help out the market center. So got any questions, just let me know. Passing it on to Tiffany.
All right, can anyone hear me? Can someone maybe make a note in the chat or somebody respond over there? Okay, good. All right. So I am going to be giving the big update today, and I have to share my screen because I have a PowerPoint presentation for you. And so I do hope that you will be able to see this. This is the 2 topics that we're going to be talking about today, just briefly here. And so I do hope that you can view the screen. I can't.
We can see you, Tiffany. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ariel. All right. So the two topics today are proper MLS usage, violations to be aware of, and the correct access by assistants. And so this has come up a lot here recently, and we wanted to make sure that we educate you all on the proper way to handle having someone to assist you with entering your information in the MLS. And the second topic today is the KWRI diversity training that's going to be available for all of you. There are 2 courses that are available, and I'll give you more information about both of those courses in a couple of slides. So the first thing is a reminder to you all that there is no sharing of MLS usernames and passwords permitted per the MLSs. When you join any MLS, you have signed a subscriber agreement, which includes restrictions about sharing your login information. And there are some very stiff penalties that we want to remind you of, and we want to tell you how to avoid those penalties. Those penalties do include, depending on the MLS that you're a member of, violation fees for up to $15,000. Triangle MLS has a tiered penalty schedule with $500, $800, or $1,200, depending on which violation, and also suspension of your MLS access for up to a year. Triad has up to $5,000 fee or fine, plus suspension for up to a year from your very first violation, and Alamance has a $15,000 fine from your very first violation that you could be subject to, as well as suspension for up to a year. I just want to let you know that they all reserve the right to issue whatever fine up to those maximum amounts, plus limit your ability to access the MLS if you violate the rules of giving your login information to someone else. Just another note, FYI, Triangle MLS has tracking bots that are looking for more than one IPS address being logged into the same account at the same time. So this is why they have a multi-tier of violations, because they're actively looking for these violations. So we want to warn
Tiffany,
you.
you're creating quite the stir in the crowd. I don't know if you can hear them, but I can. So repeat that one more time. First violation.
Okay, for which one? Triangle,
It looks like
Triad?
all of them.
Okay, well, we've got it right here on the slide for you all. So the very first violation, Triangle limits it to 500, but for Triad and Alamance, you could be subject to fines of up to $5,000 in Triad and up to $15,000 for Alamance. And so it's really important that you know your MLS rules, and that you know that you are not allowed to share your login information and access. Okay. Now, the reason we want you to know this information is we want you to know what the penalties are, so that you will have sufficient reason to make sure you're following the rules, and how to get your assistance done properly, which is the next slide. All right. So how do you follow the rules and still have assistance with entry into the MLS? Okay, this is what we want you to know. The use of an assistant is permitted. You can have both licensed or even unlicensed assistants to enter information into the MLS for you. Each assistant does have to be properly registered with each MLS, and they will be provided their own login information. Anyone that's working on any agent's behalf must be properly set up in the MLS. Again, this is for your protection to avoid those very stiff penalties that each MLS has the ability to institute. Okay, so we want you to avoid it. We want you to know you can use assistants. You just have to make sure that they are properly registered with each MLS, and that they are set up to enter information on your behalf. And each MLS has rules and a way for you to do that, to have someone to assist you with your data entry. Okay. And so we want to encourage you to be aware of the rules, be aware of what you have signed and agreed to when you join the MLS, and make sure that you're aware of the penalties if you decide not to abide by those policies and procedures. Any questions about that before we move on to diversity?
Give me just a second, Tiffany. We got a question from the crowd. Or
Sure.
comment.
Oh, it's a comment.
I already knew.
Okay, so let me just say this. First of all, it's Cindy Dudley. And when you have an unlicensed assistant and she goes to licensed, you better tell them.
Yes.
Otherwise, you will get fined big time. I paid a $3,500 fine to try an MLS because I did not report my change of status for my previous assistant from unlicensed to licensed. So be very careful. Okay. Ouch.
Cindy, thank you for sharing that. We're trying to protect you all as much as possible. Again, it has become an issue. The MLSs are really cracking down more than they ever have. And we want to warn you all and make sure that you're prepared on how to have someone assist you properly without being subject to those very stiff fines. So thank you for sharing that. And
Tiffany, if I can also add in there, when you
Yes.
choose to use best choice leverage, this is taken care of for you.
Right. Again, even with best choice leverage, thank you for adding that. Again, you cannot give them your personal login information. They are already going to have their MLS information and they're already going to be registered. And then it's just the proper
Tiffany,
steps.
will you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry, we lost sound for just a moment.
Oh, sure. So even using best choice leverage, what I want to say is that you will not need to give them your individual MLS access. They will already have their own. And it's just a matter of taking the proper steps to give them permission to enter information on your behalf. And so even best choice leverage, they already know the rules concerning the MLS, and they should never ask you for your personal login information.
Hold just one moment.
Sure.
Thank you, Tiffany. And I want to add to that sentence, and we should never offer it as agents as well. No one should ever ask, and we should never offer. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you. And there's also a question on the chat that I want to address. Lisa, thank you for asking. She says, if we've already registered as an individual agent in each MLS, then can we help out another realtor friend by entering in their listings using their login ID? Lisa, again, thank you for asking. The answer to that is no. You have to use your login ID and simply get permission to be assigned to enter information on their behalf, but you do not use their login ID. That's where you get into trouble and are subject to the fine.
That was a really great question, though. Thank you for asking that, Lisa. And we've got a whole team of people here to help you with things like this. So just keep that in mind, that all you have to do is reach out, and that BIC hotline is an amazing resource.
All right.
Hey there,
And so-
it's Karen. Could I jump in here for just a second for some clarity?
Hi, Karen.
Hi. So the password violation fines for Alamance MLS are $1,000 for the first fine, $2,500 for the second offense, and suspension for third, just for clarity.
Thank you, Karen. We appreciate that.
Yep, absolutely.
Any other questions? All right. Second topic for today is the free diversity training options that we have coming up. You probably have heard that diversity training is going to be mandatory beginning next year in 2022. And so if you'd like to get a jump start, diversity is a very important topic, and you should have some interest in learning how to become a more diverse agent as far as your thinking and your practice. And we want to make you aware of a couple of options that are coming up. The first one is a training called Unconscious Bias in Real Estate, which is going to take an in-depth look at unconscious bias and the history of government practices that have contributed to today's home ownership gap. And so you will discover your role as a realtor to implement a diverse business strategy to ensure fair housing for all and expand your business reach. We want you to know that you can register for these absolutely free trainings on kwlearningcenter.com. That's the website at the top of the slide. And the next 2 trainings for unconscious bias are November 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern or December the 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern. These are Zoom trainings. You can go and register on the KWRI Learning Center website. The other training that's also a free diversity training that's really great to attend is the color of real estate. You will learn more than you probably ever thought about when it comes to diversity. And that training is also offered November the 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern. So we want to encourage you to sign up and to begin to participate in the discussions about diversity and unconscious bias and how you can use that information to improve your business. Any questions?
I've got a question. Hang on just a moment.
Sure.
Do any of these cover your Gen Up, like our continuing education each year?
That is a great question. They do not. So these are separate from your required CE. Those are CE requirements are from the Real Estate Commission. And this is a separate type of education.
Tiffany, I've got a question, and not really to put you on the spot. Just thinking off the top of your head, is there any example that you can come up with that may have been an issue with diversity that might not be readily seen?
Okay, Ariel, thank you for asking. So when it comes to diversity and especially the unconscious bias, one issue that people don't really think about is when you tend to avoid maybe a certain type of financing because of misunderstandings about that financing product or who might be using that financing product. That could be an issue, not fully understanding the factors that are involved behind the scenes and the thought processes that might be going through your heads when you see an offer that uses a certain type of financing. So it's something as small as that you might have an unconscious bias that you need to potentially be made aware of.
So maybe just to throw an example in there. So maybe I've got a seller and we're going through the 10 offers that we've received on the property. And I say, oh, well, that's this type of loan. So those folks probably don't have that much money in the bank account.
Right.
I wouldn't accept that one.
Mm-hmm. And you really can't make those kind of assumptions when you're looking at a offer on paper just because of the type of financing. And so it's things like that you do want to be aware of and to educate yourself better so that you can better both support and educate your clients and just have a better business practice. Remember, as realtors, we are never permitted to discriminate. And it's important to know what discriminatory practices are against some of our protected classes. So it's bringing awareness to that. There are several protected classes.
Thank you, Tiffany. One other thing I want to throw in there is gender identity and sexual orientation. That has now been added per NAR and our realtor associations. So please be aware of that. We did actually have one agent to experience that when it comes to those 2 classes. And you have to be very careful, especially with how they want to be addressed. So, which could oppose some thinking or your own thinking, and that goes back to unconscious bias. So share an example around that. So the interesting thing is with this particular agent, this person was going through, their client was going through, I guess, the operation for changing genders. And although they were married, this person was married, and it was hard to remember to address them as their pronoun or their now new name when you see the legal name is one thing. So you have to be careful with that. This agent did handle it very well, although she did mention to me it was uncomfortable and it's something she hadn't ever dealt with before. But that is included in this diversity. So it's not just about race and religion, it's also gender identity and sexual orientation. So just being careful that we're not mistreating unconsciously someone based on that, those two categories.
And if I
think
might,
that's the biggest challenge is that it is unconscious, right? And so if we're not attending these diversity and unconscious bias trainings, we may be doing things that we're not even realizing we're doing because they're unconscious. So
That's
go ahead,
exactly
Tiffany. I'm
right.
sorry to break in there.
I was just going to share one other example. So the highest number of complaints this past year were actually about handicapping conditions. So another thing that people don't really think that much about, handicapping conditions include mental impairments, things that you can't see by looking at someone. And so understanding that when someone has an addiction, addictions are considered to be handicaps. And so just further education on things that you may not have thought about and what your unconscious bias might be concerning someone that has an addiction. And so again, there are 7 separate protected classes and you need to be aware of and be prepared for how to handle interactions with any kind of people that you're going to be running into. Thank you all for your time.
Questions, comments? All right, man, I just have to say, we are incredibly fortunate to have 2 amazing brokers in charge looking out for us. Not only do they do it because it's their position and it's their title, they both truly have a heart for it. And they love being able to bring this information to you. And whether it's $1,000 or a $15,000 fine, either way, I'm pretty sure you don't want to get hit with either one of them. So thank you so much for bringing that information to us today. Incredibly valuable, helpful, and I'm sure that it will benefit our agents moving forward. All right, who's our next departmental? Hold just a moment. We've got a drawing coming up.
Does everybody have a red ticket? I know. Red ticket. You got it. You rock it. All right. We're going to do a quick drawing and everybody on Zoom is also a part of this for a book bundle. So hang on just a second. Let me grab the tickets from the front.
So if I heard correctly, all of our Zoomies are being included as well. It's going to be mine, don't worry. Does everybody know that Keller Williams and Gary Keller has written some amazing books? Yeah, we've got The One Thing, we've got Shift, how top real estate agents tackle tough times, and we've got The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. One thing I'll tell you about Shift that I didn't realize, there's actually scripts in Shift. Did anybody know that? There's actually a contract to close checklist in Shift. Did everybody know that? There are some amazing models and systems located in these books that will allow you to bulletproof your transactions and make your experience better for yourselves and your clients and everybody else involved. All right.
Miss Carla's going to draw for us.
Carla Campbell is going to draw for us. Hold tight. Drum roll. All right.
514-549.
Woo! Emily Pike. 514-149. 514-549. I'm sorry. Merry Christmas. Have a good day. We're coming into the holiday season. I know that everybody has got tons of things going on through the end of the year. We've got business planning coming on. Just remember that we're here for you. Our calendars and schedules are tight. We're right in the middle of transmittal. So anything that comes through to the MCA department, just please hold for a couple of days while they get our books balanced and all of our monies distributed to you. And I just want to share some gratitude to all of you, because if we didn't have you, there wouldn't be a need for us. And we love you. And that's what gets us through every single day. So go forth, sell something, call on us if you need us. Oh, hold. Who's got shoebox information? Kathy Pinter is heading up the shoeboxes, and I
today, and we'll make sure we send out another notice because it will come up soon because they have to package.
Yes, we are working on getting the recap out, bulleted points in the recording. So we'll make sure that we get that information, as well as heritage title slides. Those will be included as well. All right, love y'all. Have a great day.